Reno and Stu, real plastic crack addicts. Toy trap, toy trap. Toy trap magic. Trap beat slamming while I crack that package. Fresh paint apps got a grown man bragging. Chef game nasty, each pose cinematic. One more pre-order, make the boy panic. Raised on hip hop, comics and plastic. Now I chase rare heat like a trap boy scamming. Reno the plastic crack fiend, I supply the madness. One review deep, now y'all whole team tapped in. Collecting ain't a hobby no more, it's a habit. Welcome to the toy trap feed, gotta have it. Reno and Stu, real plastic crack addicts.
6 Element of Hip Hop.
Yo, what's good, y'all? 6 Element of Hip Hop in the building. Welcome back to the Toy Trap. Welcome. What's good in the chat? Peace. Gangstar 8003. Not buying Fatal Fluffies or that cheap looking shipwreck set. Man, I feel you. And we're going to chop it up. We're going to get into it tonight, man. And listen, I don't say this lightly because, you know, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you know, you already recognize that Classified is probably my favorite modern action figure line for the past, 6 years or whatever. And not just because of the figures themselves, which honestly, I think are the best, line for the money out there, but because of what the line represented. It felt like Hasbro finally understood, collectors again, and every, reveal had energy, and every wave felt like murder to the wallet. It felt scary. It's like, oh man, how am I gonna? Because I got to get it all. You can't choose. You know what I mean? It's so cats were pondering figures that they didn't even have shelf space for you. That's how strong Classified was at its peak. It was you got to catch them all kind of thing. Like Pokemon, there was no room for cherry picking. There was just nothing to pick. It was all cherries. You know what I mean? But I don't know, bro. It's lately, it's I don't know. Something about these San Diego Comic-Con 2026 exclusives it got me, got everybody looking at each other funny. And I think the weird part is, like, on paper, it should have been a slam dunk. The idea, right? Sunbow-inspired exclusives, classic cartoon nostalgia. It sounds like easy money for Hasbro and an easy, cop for collectors, but instead, a lot of collectors, walking away from that reveal feeling kind of underwhelmed and not angry, not outraged, not everyone, just missing that old must buy immediately, gotta get them all feeling that Classified, had, it was unstoppable in the first place. And that's what we're going to talk about basically. And we're going to, no fake outrage, no YouTube nonsense, no Hasbro is doomed, just talking about the very specific collector feeling when a line genuinely that you love, kind of starts losing that magic. What up to the chat? He said, good afternoon from Chicago. Jay Combs 1. What's good? What's going on in Chi-Town? It is afternoon over there. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Toy Trap. And so, yeah, man, we're going to break down the reveals for 2026 San Diego Comic-Con, the Fatal Fluffy situation, the realism, versus cartoon debate, which we're having with the Fluffies, particularly between the look and yet, is it cartoon? Is it realistic? What are we doing here? And so, why do some of these exclusives feel weirdly generic? What Yojo June needs to do, and also whether G.I. Joe Classified might quietly be entering a very different phase than the one that many of us, all fell in love with the line to begin with. Monkey Dave, what up, man? Prices are really high for those SD Comic-Con figs. They're not essential to any collection. Bro, I couldn't say it better. It's a bit. Fatal Fluffies better be like 9 inches tall at $55. Yeah, don't bet on it. I'm guessing 7. Sadly, but I don't know. I haven't seen them. They look pretty big. They look, they you're right. They should be 9 inches tall, and that would definitely, give a little justification for that price. They're very boring. I'm just gonna say that the reveals were a little boring, a little underwhelming. Not that they're not good products, not that they wouldn't do fine on the shelf or, on the website. Billionaire 416, what's good? And I think, the deeper I sit with these San Diego Comic-Con 2026 reveals, the more I think the real conversation is not whether the Fatal Fluffies are good or whether Cadet Deming is too obscure. The real conversation is whether G.I. Joe Classified is quietly shifting from a line that once felt creatively dangerous into a line that is becoming safer, more dependent on market research and maybe how they're doing financially than actual lore. A little nostalgia, it's too comfortable recycling emotional memory instead of creating that fresh excitement that they were so good at. Because here's the thing, I don't hate these exclusives. I don't hate the products. I hate that they're exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con, if that's what and what they might represent, because parts of them are kind of brilliant. And when G.I. Joe Classified first hit the shelf, or when it first hit, I guess, online, it felt, well, I'm not gonna say at first, because when it first came out, I wasn't even a fan. I'm one of those guys. I just wanted 6-inch versions of my 80s favorites, kind of thing. I didn't want these new sci-fi kind of versions that they originally started with Classified. And bravo to Hasbro and to Lenny for listening right away. Didn't waste much time. Pretty much got right into collectors going, hey, could you do some like this that look like those? And they did, and they started doing that. And I remember the first Gung Ho that came out with the turquoise, that looked like OG Gung Ho, the card back. That's when I really fell in love with the line. That's when I was like, oh boy, this is it. Like, yeah, this is like the best shit out there. And honestly, pardon me, that balance matters. You have a character redesign like Firefly, and then suddenly realize Hasbro understood modern tactical aesthetics better than people expected, and it just didn't, it maybe looked a little different than the cartoon, but it was amazing. And so they turn around and give you some deep cut insanity like the Cobra Island Vipers, or a figure that nobody thought would ever exist in 6-inch scale. And the line had momentum because it felt like the team was simultaneously respecting the old material while trying to reinterpret it, and that balance is the key, I think. Is so because nostalgia doesn't sustain a toy line for 6 years, not alone. And at some point you need momentum, you need surprise, you need the feeling that people are making the line, that are making the line are still hungry, and still fans and passionate about G.I. Joe and all that. And now we just lost Tony and Lenny. We don't know who the next guys are going to be. Are they going to be fans of G.I. Joe? Are they going to be our age? Are they going to have grown up in the 80s? Like, that's very important to me. Monkey Day said, I love the deep cut Sunbow stuff like this, but collect hella other lines. If I skip getting 3 of the Fluffies and Shipwreck Deming, I can get 4 Mythic Legions or 2 or 3 import figs. Don't forget these babies. Yes. Matter of fact, I got a couple joints in today. We'll check these out too. I believe one of those is a Mythic Legions too. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about how FedEx crushed the box that says "Liquid Handle with Care." Gangstar said King Cobra Commander better have sick throne. If it's that cheap looking like that shipwreck device, you and me and nobody else is gonna be happy. That device. First of all, this thing could have gone. This could go. I feel like they grabbed this from like even the Marvel line. Like this could be any Hasbro line, little piece, little diorama set piece. Now I love that they're giving us diorama set pieces, but how do I know this is a Cobra unit? How do I know this goes to G.I. Joe? It doesn't have a Cobra logo on it. There's nothing to it. It's literally a silver box with very poorly colored buttons. And I don't want to like totally rag it out because I mean, like I said, I love that they're giving us diorama sets and stuff like that. She looks decent. I don't know what shipwreck this is. I look at all 17 shipwreck versions and none of them look like this. I was really hoping for like a version 7, you know, the all black with the black Scully and the camo pants. That would have made me buy this set. I would have bought this Deming Cadet. I would have bought this little gray box just to get that dope version of Shipwreck. But this guy is just a guy in brown pants. Reminds me of that Game of Thrones joke. Bring me my brown pants, the sailor. Crimson Cobra Commander, what up, man? He says, hey, guys, isn't Classified big enough to do both sci-fi and classic? I think so. I think it is. I think it surely is. And we can have both, you know? But it should be everything. Do you remember when everything, and I don't know if this is just me. I know it's not just me, but I don't know if this is you too, Crimson. There was a time when everything Classified put out was a must-have. Like there was no question. When's the next pre-order going up? I don't care what it is. When is it going up so I can order it? Like that's how good Classified was. And now lately it's been hit or miss. Like I've passed on a lot of stuff that I don't know, man. And I honestly don't know if I'm even buying this stuff, that the San Diego stuff. I'm not a completionist, so I have that sort of discernment, and I feel bad for completionists right now. But it is what it is. Bill said, I got my IG Destro Rockclaw and Taurus and Red Dog today. Oh, you lucky bastard. Where did you get them from? Where did you order them from? Because like they're not even shipping yet in none of the United States websites. Is it CMD store or something like that? Like, let me know where you ordered from, because I do see a lot of people getting them. Well, mainly the Destro and the Taurus. I'm not seeing that as shipping yet. Maybe I got to check my thing, but yeah, let us know. The mass elements fit on top. Crimson Cobra Commander saves the day. Look at that, guys. So there it is. So this is a part of the mass device. All right. So it's part of the mass device. I still think it's a very underwhelming part for a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, considering we got stuff like Cold Slither, the whole band with the instruments and everything. Like, you know, con exclusives used to be intense and important. Like I felt you got to have them even if they weren't part of the main, you know, roster or something like that. It was still like, but I don't know. For me, I would maybe if there was something more mass device about this unit, I would find it more enticing. But if you're collecting and putting together the mass device, you got to buy it. And that's a Hasbro thing to do. You know, this is still Hasbro. So, Bill, you must live in Canada. I see they got them there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is it a piece of the mass device? Yep. The old one, welcome from Springfield. Yep. It is C-tier chars now. I feel you. I agree with you. Now, a lot of Classified end up selling cheap at Ross Wholesale. They call it, the RossCon. My local toy store in Toronto had them. I know this is like an old saying, but yes, every country in the world gets the real American hero before America. Even though Hasbro is an American company. Go figure. Yeah, well, they got to make them somewhere. You cannot make figures in the United States. It can't be done. You can make figures in the United States. You cannot make a line like this in the United States. It's got to be sourced out. Just ask Bobby Valla. Canada and Asia got the Destro and Taurus already. US always took the words out of my mouth. We really need media and players. If Barbie can own multiple houses like Berkshire Hathaway, can't we get a Cobra base, a G.I. Joe base? Where's the base? You know what I'm saying? They act like this shit is like we can't do it. Barbie is huge. Playsets, not players. Chaz the Guru, what's up, fam? He came through. He says, I need at least 3 Fatal Fluffies bastards made an SDCC. I don't know, man. It's it boggles the mind. For me, this feels like we didn't have anything for Comic-Con. Let's make it this. Maybe not. I don't know. Fatal Fluffies are definitely See, con stuff, exclusive and stuff. I mean, as we know, right, it's never going to be like mainline characters, like a character that's part of the back of the card back. You know what I mean? Like from the old roster, like those main characters are going to generally be sold on Pulse or fan channels, etc. Like when they do a Walmart exclusive, that's one of those that's very annoying. But con exclusives tend to be stuff you don't need for the main line. And you don't need a Fatal Fluffy for the main roster of G.I. Joes, but boy, is it cool to have if you're, into that cartoon and that 80s vibe. Which, if you're not, what are we doing? Who are you? What's going on? Crimson said, "How's that Archangel?" Oh man, he's just chilling, man. He kicks it on my mic stand. He flies with me. We ride. No, he's phenomenal. I love this figure. I got the black and silver one, the X-Force one. It's pretty much the same exact body. It's got obviously a cool new face. And look at how far the head goes forward. I mean, look at that up. Look how far up the head looks. You do not very often get that with a legend. So that's obviously so he can fly. So bravo Hasbro for doing that. Phenomenal. One of the better legends, in my opinion, that we've gotten lately. Definitely one of the better 97 joints. But yeah, man, got the trackers and the vamp, busting shots. That hand sign from Rock and Roll, I like to put it on different figures from time to time. It's awesome. And then here's the red version of Cadet Deming. Basically, it's basically Cadet Deming is this figure. It's painted blue. You're telling me that a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive is a repaint? And let's talk about Shipwreck for a second. Let me hang on. So Archangel looks fire. It is. It really is. Hopefully more collectors don't want the fluffies, so it'll be easier to get. I mean, that's the beauty when it's something niche like this too. A lot of collectors are like, "Oh, fuck that," and a lot of collectors are passing on these fluffies. A lot of collectors are talking a lot of crap. They're not happy. A lot of collectors I see not happy with the fluffies. Mainly the facial expression. I think the big complaint that a lot of people have is that not the expression, but the Fatal Fluffies are a cartoon character. Super 7 does a great Fatal Fluffy, but it's not classified, scale. But they tried to put basically, I think, a realistic face that's for like a classified monster to be realism in how they do classified. And I think that backfired. A lot of collectors think that backfired because it just doesn't mesh well. Like Fatal Fluffy's better as a cartoon, a more animated face. Face sculpt, but we'll see. Shipwreck set got me to watch that double episode. So, but I dig it, but I really wish that we could have gotten, if we're gonna do like a different version of Shipwreck, like let's do one of the versions of Shipwreck that we love, that are dope. And like, dog, look at huge missed opportunity as far as that goes. Here goes Now look, here's all the versions of Shipwreck, by the way. That one's not one of the versions. The one that they're giving us with the San Diego Comic-Con is not one of the 19 versions of Shipwreck. Boy, would it have been nice if we had gotten a nice version 7 in classified. I would have bought that whole set for that, just that figure. Or version 14, better yet. That's the joint right there. 2009 Night Force. Fuck out of here. Naval Commando. So, but we got we're getting brown pants. You bring me my brown pants. EGC, what's good? Shipwreck is when Cobra capture him, made him think years passed, so they dyed his hair and tried to get a code out of him. It's from it's from the cartoon, yeah. So yeah, the wetsuit. Oh, that's the cool. And like version 2, Shipwreck, he's like a SEAL diver. The next like 3 versions he was a SEAL diver. So version 2, he's got the cool. Version 2 is honestly, I think, the best diver suit he's got. It's all black and gray with a little silver. Very very cool. And then Shipwreck version 3 gets wacky. They're going 98, we got crazy colors, we're doing wild shit. And then 2002, we go back to the gray, this time more of a light gray. And then version 5 is where we first get the skull hat and the turtleneck and that cool. I don't know, I kind of like that look, but I like what they do better a couple versions later where they turn it black for Night Force. But yeah, a lot of cool versions they could have done. Who knows why they chose what they chose? I mean, I guess they're going with a cartoon. It's from the cartoon. That's the idea. So that's the idea. I'm sure we'll get those Shipwreck versions. I hope so, man. It's like, honestly, some of those are really popular and would look amazing as classified figures. But the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive is a cartoon thing, right? It's a cartoon thing, just like the before mentioned Cold Slither set, right? Straight from the cartoon, never made a toy before. It's funny none of Shipwreck ever came with a monkey. Yeah, that would have worked. Yeah, the parrot, you got the monkey. Why not? But I think for, yeah, this thing off. So before people because I think you need to, got to keep the line moving, and it is a nice departure from the main stuff, but I don't know. I guess because it's a cartoon thing and then they try to make it look realistic, it does lose some of the charm. But not to totally complain about it because it's not all bad and there's a lot of good stuff to it. But I'm not sure that the line feels hungry anymore. Is my thing. It's there. It's decent. Yeah, he had the monkey after Polly died, right? The line feels like it's just slowing down. Not slowing down, but like is this do we see now why Tony is this why Lenny and Tony were leaving? Did they know something, see something? Obviously. So, but let me be clear, like I'm not saying the line is dead, and I know Crimson, you had issue with me before saying that it was looking bad for the line. Like I know not a personal issue, but with that being a fact, and like I get you, and I don't think it's like gonna be dead. I mean, of course they'll keep doing it, but it's lost that gotta have every single thing they put out ness that it used to have. I'm not saying that Hasbro forgot how to make good figures. Obviously, they're doing very well with when they do make something. It's all good. Like no one ever complains about the quality of the figure itself, classified especially. So I'm definitely not saying collectors suddenly hate G.I. Joe classified or are not having, are losing interest at all. That would be absurd. What I am saying is that these reveals feel like the first noticeable moment where collector excitement and collector concern start existing at the same time, because looking at the reactions, right, half of the fan base saw the Fatal Fluffies and instantly smiled because they remembered the Pyramid of Darkness, they remembered the weird Sunbow goodness from the 80s, and they remembered Cobra Commander doing the absurd cartoon supervillain experiments, and and they remember that era where G.I. Joe could move from military fiction into almost science fiction territory without warning, like Crimson said earlier, which I think is the core of what G.I. Joe is. For those people who think G.I. Joe should just be this military olive drab Vietnam inspired war toy, it's not. It simply is not. It is a sci-fi / military / ninja, because what was big in the 80s? Vietnam movies, sci-fi movies, and ninja movies. Ninjas were everything. Military was everything. Kids, all we did as a kid, what did you do when you ran outside? We didn't get on the internet. We ran outside and we ran to the woods and we played army. We played war. We threw shit at each other. We had BB guns, paintball. We graduated, whatever it is. We played war. Like, that was fun. And I notice kids today, they don't play war. No kids today want to be a soldier, like playing army. Like, it's just not like it was. I mean, I don't mean no kids, but in general. So that changed. But yeah, that's what G.I. Joe is. It's that military inspiration that was huge, ninja inspiration that was huge, and don't forget sci-fi. It's absolutely part of it. It just is. Maybe the original G.I. Joe 12-inch line was more a realism thing, but and don't point to the original 13 because Flash, lasers and shit, none of that was realistic. So it was already leaning that way. They just didn't know how far they could go yet, and immediately started pushing it with the comics and the very next wave. So it absolutely is. So yes, Crimson Commander, yes, it is absolutely able to be a sci-fi thing. And so the other half of collectors are going, wait, this is the SDC exclusive? This is the big con reveal? Bored, annoyed, right? Yeah, jetpacks, laser guns. I mean, right away off top. But honestly, I understand both reactions completely, because the Fatal Fluffies set simultaneously one of the most charming, one of the most concerning exclusives that they've ever done. The packaging is incredible, legitimately incredible. Let me throw up some imagery for those who haven't seen it. Not that. Here, we'll go here. Let me do that. Bop, bop, bop. There's something. All right. So the big reveal came out from Game Rant here on this article. G.I. Joe's Comic Con 2026 exclusive figures revealed. And it's actually bigger when I leave it there. All right, so yeah, I mean the face of the Fluffy doesn't match the body almost. Like the body, even the big fingers, the big feet, right? They don't look monsterish. They look cartoonish. They're big. There's nothing pointy about them, right? But then the face tries to be this Mythic Legions monster, right? And if you compare it to the Super 7 Fatal Fluffy, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think the realism is what bothers people. I don't think they might, they may not know that's what their gripe is, but I think that's what fucks it up for me. This inspired my thumbnail, by the way. I'm like, yeah, no, this is puke. But the packaging's nice. The packaging's great. Obviously, regular thing. But on the back, you got the cool Fatal Fluffies cereal with the back of a cereal box. Remember the back of cereal boxes, kids? We used to sit there after or while we're eating cartoons. While we're eating cereal, watching Saturday morning cartoons, we would be on the back of the box doing the little fucking mazes and all that shit. That is Help Shipwreck and Snake Eyes, Escape Cobra's Sunken Lair. Cool, right? You can swap the face plate, which was a good choice. But I mean, look, you've got a cartoon gun. Like I said, you've got a cartoon body, but then you try to kind of do a realistic face, and it gives it it hurts it. It hurts it. These guys are spot on. Sadly, it only comes with one, though. Would be cool if it came with like 3. Then I could see it. It would be a little more justified. I think a lot of people would think. That unit, I'm sorry, man. Even if, I mean, yeah, you can see the 3 cylinders where the mass device, where the vial thingies go, right? Or is that something that fits? But yeah, look at her. She's just this figure. It's just a repaint. Just a repaint. Cool repaint, I guess. Yeah, it's cool. I'd make her like the head of my female Crimson Guard unit. We have an all badass female unit, something like that. You could do. Does she have a little nurse's hat? Is that what we're doing? Like I said, I love the diorama action. Is that a cup? Does it come with the little cup? It looks like it does. They're all holding that cup. Let's look inside. What do we got? We got a cup. We got little glasses for her. She got a couple wigs. She's got the nurse's hat. She's got the Crimson Guard helmet. There's a better cup's not visible on there, but I think that's it right there next to these hands right there. So it does come with the little cup for whatever reason. Just world building. What have we been asking Hasbro to do, guys? We've been asking them for world building. I know I have. We've been asking them for world building. We've been asking them for diorama sets. And is Polly got the scanner? Polly's got the scanner. Oh, Polly there. See, he's got a bandage on his head. He should have a Scully. But no, it's from the cartoon. So it's from the cartoon. But I think the faux cereal box design on the Fluffies packaging is probably the best, packaging concept. One of the better, cooler packaging concepts that Classifieds had in a while. I think there would be a retro version of the Fatal Fluffy. Retro Fluffies with cartoon face. Give it to us. Just go look at what Super 7 did with the face. That's your issue, guys. Classified, just the face. Just put the new face. Give us a new face. Why didn't you put a cartoon faceplate in the box? You could have given us two options. You could have given us the ugly curmudgeon, fluffmudgeon, and then you could have given us the cartoon faceplate. Would have been peak. Fluffies, you can do Fluffies, but you can only afford one. Yeah, I mean, like almost $60. And it should be like what was his name? Gangstar, I think he said it. Monkey Dave should be 9 inches tall at $55. Yeah, I would agree. She led the Valkyries. Okay, right. What up, Joe Prime? Welcome to the show. All right. Poly device melts the synthetic robots. Right. She's got the device beaming it out. Look at that. That's world building. I mean, that's cool. I thank you, Hasbro, for that. Like, let's give it up. I mean, you got to give props where it's due. I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to, definitely not here to bash anything, because it's like, it's nothing really inherently. The cereal box design, though, cool packaging. The fake activities on the back, really cool, old school advertising energy with the nostalgic vibe, the whistle references, the whole fake kids product presentation. That actually feels inspired. That's actually pretty cool. And that's the kind of thing that reminds you there are still creatives inside Hasbro, right? That are genuinely understanding of the culture, the emotional texture of the 80s. Culture, and that's reassuring, but when back when toys weren't pretending to be luxury collectibles, which we call these toys, they're toys, man, but they're really not for kids. Like, dude, no one's buying a $55 figure for their kid. These are not made or intended for children. So I don't know. I hesitate to even see it as quote unquote a toy, but they're toys in the way that a yacht is a toy for a really rich motherfucker. And if you're really rich, your toys are yachts and cars and whatever the fuck. If you're blue collar working class, your toys are toys. But yeah, so you get the actual action figures, but it gets kind of complicated here because objectively the sculpting is good, the articulation is always solid, the nothing wrong with the toys itself. Obviously, the accessories are plentiful. Alternate faces are great. The flame effects are fun. All the extra diorama stuff. But the actual design language of the Fatal Fluffies, I keep calling them Fatal Furies, don't I? Fatal Fluffies reveal the larger issue I think Classified is starting to wrestle with. Some cartoon concepts lose something when they're translated into a hyper detailed modern realism. Super 7 has been nailing the whole cartoon line, and they kind of gave that to Super 7, like, here's the line, do the cartoons, and then they turn around and start doing cartoon stuff. That is weird. I find that kind of weird. Like, why did you give 7 the rights to do the cartoon stuff and then turn around and start doing the cartoon stuff, but not as cartoon stuff? Which is, I mean, it is what it is, but like, I don't know, make up your mind. That's where I lose, because it's like there's a consistency issue, right? There's a consistency issue also with retro versions and stuff like that. There was a while for Classifieds where they were all very different from the 80s joints. Then they got a little more similar, but pretty much like retro cardback was the way you were going to get the 80s look. Then all of a sudden they do the wave with Wetsuit and Sci-Fi and Mainframe, and they look exactly like the 80s versions with no cardback. Then we get Crazy Legs only on a cardback. The whole thing is very inconsistent. It's like, which we don't know why internally that is, what's going on in the company that causes things like that. And creatively, maybe there's people that, make decisions and who were able to make decisions here, and then different people made decisions there. Personnel changes. Obviously now Lenny and Tony gone, so more things are going to change again. So it's hard to say. But the fatal, the Fatal Fluffies worked in the Sunbow because Sunbow existed in a heightened visual reality. The cartoon could pivot from espionage to mutated gremlin monsters without tonal whiplash because the entire universe already operated on dream logic. So, weather dominators, pyramid energy weapons, synthoids, mind control, cold slither, cobra la was all insane already. Go to Larry Hama and go to the comics, and you don't see as much of that. And it's a very different G.I. Joe, which I much prefer the lore of the comics. Ow. Fucking flamethrower shot out of the goddamn front of the blunt. It starts feeling like a weird Cobra experiment and more like a novelty, less like a weird Cobra experiment and more like a novelty figure. And that distinction is very important. And I think that's why the reactions have been split down the middle. If you go on, go look at the reactions yesterday, etc. Which is why we kind of waited to do this, because I wanted to see, what everybody really thought about it. And not to form my opinion, but to comment on what everyone else thinks about it when I talk about my opinion. Cartoon had ghost, monster, and mutants. Oh, bro, it was all over the place. It was fun. It was an 80s cartoon. Look at 80s cartoons. I mean, it was right there, but it was definitely on the more real side, whatever, Oh, no worries, Ronnie, man. Hey, offer still stands if you got the link, bro. But that's what's up, man. No worries. I know it's like 8 a.m. over there and shit. But yeah, man, you can always come on, bro. Anytime, bro. Anytime. If you have the link. If you don't have the link, my bad, bro. Let me shoot me your email or something. But yeah, other collectors, I think, though, look at them quietly and they think, man, I would have rather gotten an all-new troop builder or a major vehicle or a definitive character update, a new version, a cool version. And that tension right there is the real story of the San Diego Comic-Con 26, not the figures themselves, the priorities. Because remember when Classified, remember where they came from. The line was, built its reputation on ambition and nostalgia, and people forget how aggressive that those early years felt. I think it was amazing. It's not very naked, don't sweat it, but I'll come through for you next time. Oh man, we were hoping to get the birthday suit, Ronnie, but it's all good. Anytime, man. Anytime. No worries. But yeah, Hasbro is redesigning iconic characters very confidently and doing very well, taking risks with proportions, mixing the military realism, the new comic book stylizations, all that good shit, updating silhouettes, experimenting with gear, introducing deluxe engineering, new, they went from pins to pinless, building out the factions, giving us, completing dreadnoughts and things like that. It felt alive, and it felt like I said, it was just had that energy where I knew when a new pre-order, just tell me the date and time. I don't really care what it is. I'm getting it. Like, that's how Classified was. And I'm feeling it moving away from that, for me at least, and from what I see a lot of people. And this is not a damnation on Classified. It's still my favorite line. Everything you see here is Hasbro, but it is because I want them to do better. In a way I know that they can and have. I just want them to keep doing it. That's all. Give us back to where it was. He said, I love Night Force. I wish you'd get more Night Force vehicles. More Night Force all around, bro. Way more Night Force. Night Force. My favorite force, for sure. Far above Pythons or Tiger Forces. Like, for me, I'm not saying it's superior. It's just I prefer it. But to each their own. I think, though, the way people are reacting to it, it's valid, and comparing that energy to a display base that honestly looks generic enough to belong in any Hasbro line, that diorama piece, it really could be with anything, and it's part of a larger unit. We need a bigger piece than for the con or something like that. But that's another thing people are reacting to if they are already dealing with it. So, but I think the Shipwreck and the Cadet Deming set isn't bad. Actually, Cadet Deming herself might be the strongest thing revealed out of both exclusives. The Blue Crimson Guard inspired design, very cool looking. It looks great, came out well. The female Classified figures continue to be some of the best engineering in the line and the most popular. The sunglasses came on good. They look like they're firm and everything. They look like they're well made. The head sculpt works. The colors pop. But obviously that set piece kind of feels low energy for Comic-Con. That's all I'm saying. And maybe that sounds unfair because technically it includes a decent amount of accessories, but visually it lacks spectacle. And you can't deny that. Stevens 4175 said we get stupid fluffies and still no October Guard. Oh man, I feel you, man. What's going on with October Guard? Where we at? So, but earlier, San Diego Comic-Con exclusives across Hasbro brands, used to feel event-like. When a con exclusive, was revealed, that was crazy, and no one was ever like, oh, what the fuck are we getting here? Because I'm not nitpicking on this one thing. I'm talking about the broader, larger picture here, that what's going on with Hasbro and Classified. And what this all means, right? This could be foreshadowing. But yet it's still the 30th. What is it? 31st. So June hasn't even begun yet. This is kind of a preview. This isn't Yojo June yet, but it's kind of looking like another no-go June for me. But we'll see. But visual centerpiece, visual storytelling, dioramas, give us more. Love it. Something, it's great. But I think, though, these feel more like premium Pulse releases, or like a con, or like a Walmart exclusive or something like that. Convention stickers attached. But that's not the same thing, especially for the line that once had people refreshing the, Target pages like Wall Street brokers watching for stock crashes. Remember that era? It was like you FOMO for real type shit. I lost that. Like I don't have it anymore. Like said it's funny, it shows the chair on the back of the box, but there's no chair in the Shipwreck set. I mean, Hasbro. I said Hasbro aren't releasing anything Russian for a long time. You know what? That's a good point. might be Might be waiting on the October Guard stuff, but you know, bro, Cobra Island was crazy. You know, all the vipers, and it was just alley vipers were, everything, bats, everything was coming out. It was just, and it was momentum. It wasn't hype. It was really rolling. The line felt culturally alive inside, and now compare that emotional atmosphere to people debating whether Fatal Fluffies fit the line aesthetically and whether this exclusive is a pass or not. Like, there was no passes before. And this is an easy pass for a lot of people, it seems, apparently. And so it's a very different energy going on. And honestly, I think part of this comes from Hasbro leaning harder into the Sunbow specific nostalgia because it's safer financially, but because they're looking at Super 7's success. But it's like, let Super 7 have that. Let them do that. They've already proved there's a demand for the cartoon accurate Joe aesthetics, but they're doing it, right? And even if Ultimates, lost steam because of articulation limitations, like, it would be nice for a Super 7 to be made like a classified. So I guess, but then it's like, the thing is, when you make it classified, you make it realistic. And some of this cartoon stuff doesn't work realistic. If a Fatal Fluffy is going to be realistic, it's not going to just be his face. That body's going to look different. It's going to have more detail, the fur, the claws, the feet, everything's going to look different if you realize it. But now you've just realized the face and everything else is the cartoon body. So that's where I think that's the issue, man. And so, yo, Joe Vladimir, yeah, nah, not going to work. Not going to do it. But yeah, I think creatively it creates risk. Fantastic Class 78. What up, peeps? Just picked up my first 2 Mythic Legions figures. Gonna review them. Awesome, dog. You know what? I just got a couple new Savage Crucible figures that I just did a review on one, and I got another review coming on the other, but I just got this Mythic Legion 2. I think this is Mythic Legion in here. We're gonna find out in a minute. I'll bust it open. At the end of the show, we got that. And then whatever came in this box, we're gonna open too. Look at this. Isn't this fun? You see what that says, right? The fuck are we doing? I stopped the driver and I'm like, hey, I pulled the driver. I stopped the driver. I said, hey, I said, come here. He comes back over. I said, hey, you see what that says right there? He reads it. I said, fuck are we doing? But he's like, oh man, yeah, no, it's not the drivers, man. Just, you should see how they treat those things in the center. We know what it is, FedEx, but yeah, I mean, it literally says liquid, handle with care, and it is crushed. So hopefully nothing's damaged in there. Anyway, fun with FedEx. Ultimate lost steam because they break too easily. They really do. It's a brittle. I think it's PVC. It's not ABS. It feels like some of it's ABS. It's PBC though, a lot too, and it's but they. The toys or the accessories especially are not durable. Obviously, the articulation is total butt, but they have pure nostalgia bait. Just they really hit that spot in the brain well, and that's the cool thing about the cartoon stuff, and that's what the draw is with the Fatal Fluffies. It's just like, let them be cartoonish then, if they're going to be cartoonish, and they would have been, but hopefully we'll get like Crimson said, maybe even a retro version or maybe even a extra cartoon head. But I see right now, I see the 3D printers out there. They're going to be making little faces to go on the Fatal Fluffy that look more cartoony, and I'm going to buy those, and that's going to solve it right there. A lot of us Joe fans are buying classifieds and not Stupid 7 anyway. This is a fact. That's right. Couriers just throw shit at my front door all the time. I have a doorbell cam footage to prove it. I mean, yeah, no. Just like punt it from the fucking driveway to the front door. Yeah. But once the line comes too overly dependent on this stuff and it becomes more of just trying to feed nostalgia and not moving the line forward in a meaningful way, I think is where we may start losing some of that fire that we had. And I just really hope that this is not a sign that, after Lenny and Tony leaving, and that sign was a sign, right? And that now we're in this world of now where it's just like become this super Hasbro-fied, corporatized toy line now, no longer made by collectors, made by fans and stuff like that. They bowl the packages, right? With the fucking cricket mallet. Voila. Yeah. But hopefully, like, Lenny and them leaving doesn't ruin everything, right? Because here's what you have, like we talking about Mythic Legions and Savage Crucible and Boss Fight Studios where Lenny and them went to. Those are made, those studios, those toy makers are literal toy collectors. They're toy fans. Go to the Savage Crucible live stream. All the guys that run and own and founded and create for Savage Crucible, their shelves, their backgrounds look just like ours. Like they're us. And you can see it in the way they do their business. Like putting out pre-orders at 9 p.m. when they know everyone's home from work, and not 1 in the afternoon and make us have to sneak to the bathroom at work to fucking catch the pre-order and shit, right? Like Hasbro does. So Lenny and them gave Classified that indie energy that Marvel Legends doesn't have. That Black Series doesn't have. Classified had that. And I just hope that we're not losing that. That's what I hope this does not mean. He said, what base would you want if you could choose a classified one you have for your room? Like a base, like a military base? It's a tie between two. I mean, it's either the OG GI Joe base that from back in the day, or, and this would be a total fantasy project, the Terror Dome. It'd be huge. It'd be like the size of a hot tub. It'd be awesome. And it'd fit right there. Oh, bro, I'd fucking, dude. Imagine walking in a room and a big ass Terror Dome was just right there in the middle of the floor. But yeah, never happened. Never happened. Somebody will probably 3D print one, eventually build one. You see people building some amazing stuff for Classified. The Chinook chopper they got out there. They got all kinds. It's cool. Speaking of vehicles, though, the Vamp is coming back out. I didn't even realize this was a sought after thing. I thought everyone had the Vamp. Yeah, I guess that went over my head. I thought the Vamp was super easy to get. Everyone got one, and it was just like, oh, the Vamp. Like, who cares anymore? Apparently, it was this hard to get item, and people had trouble, and they're re-releasing it now because of that. So that's cool, man. If you didn't get a Vamp, you need a fucking Vamp. This thing is awesome. Based on the Lamborghini truck, I believe. Yeah, the Lamborghini truck with the Stinger was made on. But yeah, that's cool, man. Prices are climbing everywhere, obviously. So it's not just Classified, it's not just Hasbro, but that's a factor. There are 3D printed Terror Dome. It's over 3,000. There is, I figured there had to be over 3,000. That makes sense. I'd hesitate though. I don't think I'd buy it because like a 3D printed Terror Dome, 3D printed plastic is not at all the integrity of ABS or PVC. It just can't yet. They're not to that stage yet. The filament doesn't come out as solid. It's too brittle. It snaps easy. It's very easy to break. Speaking of which, now that's a Classified Swamp Scare, boy. Looking like the OG. This happens very easily. But it steers too. It really steers. But yeah, I mean, 3D, and that doesn't even look 3D printed, bro. This is one of the best 3D printed anythings that I've ever seen. Shout out to Mark II Designs. Told him this happened in shipping. Ari is sending me a new one. So big shout out to Mark II Designs. But that's the thing with 3D printed. I mean, it was wrapped in bubble wrap, secured and everything. He packaged it really well. And as I opened it up, I felt it rattling. I thought maybe there was some little extra thing he threw in there or whatever. Opened the box, and sadly, these nobody cares. Nobody cares. Paul Morales, what up, man? Welcome. It is the Vamp Mark II. It is not just a re-release of the green Vamp. It is like a desert. I should have specified, yes. And actually, it's fucking badass. It's got like the Stinger doors. So it's like really, it's a repainted Stinger. Let's be honest. It's a repainted Stinger. Is more accurate. Is more closer to a repainted Stinger because of the doors and the roof and all that shit. But it is going to be like tan, desert motif. So if you already got the Vamp and the Stinger, you're going to be flush with 3 bad vehicles, which I do have both, and I will get the tan one because that's going to look really cool with the doors and everything on it, like the Stinger. I love the Stinger. The Stinger is one of my favorite, like, period G.I. Joe vehicles, in all the lines, but love the Stinger. But they're just big enough to be, or they're just small enough to still kind of be shelf porn. You know what I mean? You could still really rock them and not really worry about them taking up everything. They'll fit right on any shelf that you have. It's not as much. Whereas like, the Rattler here, I got the Rattler with the wings up because extended. It's like I can't get around. Little U shape. There's like a thing in the middle here, and I got the Rattler sitting in the middle with like this sort of U shape of shelves going around right there. And then I got the Dragonfly up there with like a piece like removed so that it will fit on the shelf. So it's like the bigger stuff is awesome. It just doesn't really work on a lot of shelves if you're, not rocking some giant display world, one of these rich guys out there. You should check out Rowdy Toys, man. Definitely. So I'm not sure. I want to shell out $200 for a white Stinger and a brown Vamp with doors. $200. Were they $200? I did not pay $200 for that. No, sir. Fuck no. No. If they're $200 now, that's wild work, bro. So the release is the Vamp 2. Yes, the Vamp 2 is coming. I got 2 Vamps and 2 Stingers. I want 2 of every version that comes out. Well, you have, sir, a lot of space in your home, sir, and I applaud you for that. Monkey Dave, I got a 4-foot dragon coming in a year. Don't need 4 Jeeps. 100 each, right? Okay. Well, that works. Yeah, 100 each. And yeah, I don't. I think I need them both. I think I'm gonna have to do that myself. Like, out of all the vehicles, they really work. There's an All Striker clone on Big Bad Toy Store that looks identical to like the 80s design, but it's like burgundy, so that they didn't get, because like it's spot on, like it's the same fucking All Striker, which I was not a fan of the classified version of the All Striker because with the 3rd seat and all that, it's just like, why are we deviating from the original in such of a superficial, like non-necessary way? Like that's not a deviation. That's like a design where it's like, oh, this is cool, classified. It's like you're just making it weird for no reason. But I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, there's a lot of cool aftermarket or like indie stuff that you can get now. Like obviously, Valaverse makes cool shit and that you can mix and match and add on. And I really want to get those big wheels that they got for their version and put them on this thing. Those wheels look way cooler. But we're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. Prices going up, shelf space shrinking, retail confidence unstable, companies relying harder on guaranteed emotional purchases, and the industry is increasingly driven by known IP safety nets rather than quality decision making and quality product. And collectors are changing too. I know 10 years ago people were buying almost everything. Now people are, they curate harder. They ask questions. Do I really need this? Am I going to regret buying this later? Am I going to wonder why I bought this later? That kind of shit. Will it still matter to me next year? Will it still matter to me after it, arrives? Sometimes you find yourself, as a plastic crack addict, you find yourself shopping and hunting and buying stuff that you pre-order and stuff like that. And then when it comes, you're like, why did I buy this? I don't even want this. And like, that was kind of an okay deal back then. Now, nope, can't do that no more. So now it's very specific. And honestly, I am getting more into Harbinger Studios and Mythic Legions and some of the indie companies that have collectors more in mind when they're making their products and selling their products. It's just better product. Obviously the drawback is it's not Marvel, G.I. Joe, Star Wars. It's not your favorite characters that you grew up with as a kid. That's obviously what holds people back from jumping into those other lines. Because honestly, like the amount of quality, improves is so drastic, and the price hike is not that much more. Like they're not $100 a figure or anything like that, like a Mayfex. And honestly, these are better than Mayfex, dude. These are better than fucking Mezco and all that shit, in my opinion. This figure I just got, you cannot put him in a fucking whack pose. Like no matter how you pose this figure, he's gonna look cool. Like no matter what, I swear to God, it does. You can just randomly twist him in like five ways, and he's gonna still look dope. Like it just go like beep 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 beep. Just don't even just blindly look. He's dope. Like he's dope. Like it doesn't fucking matter. This is a fucking insanely well made piece. Look at that. You can't even. There's no hinges on the joints. That's just an elbow, man. Where's the hinge? Where's the joint? But it's double jointed. Same thing with the knees. You got metal chains. That's a metal chain, not a plastic chain. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a drastic gap that even though this is not a character I've ever heard of, it's one of my best figures I have. I wonder what came in the mail. Let's see what came in the mail. But yeah, I think action figure collecting has always, had some overlap with, music culture, sneaker culture, comic speculation culture, hip hop, all this stuff, spaces, where scarcity, discovery, rareness, collecting, style, momentum matter emotionally. And honestly, G.I. Joe Classified at its peak reminded me of those early Wu-Tang era days, or those early days where it was just exciting to go and collect records and shit like that. Because like initially hip hop was my first love. My first collection thing I collected was tapes and records and shit, and then I got into comics, and then but it was always that hunger and that drive that Classified definitely had, and it's just awesome. I think collectors are sensing the edges for the first time, not because the line is ending, but because the creative strategy is becoming easier to predict. And ironically, that's why Yojo June suddenly matters more than ever, because this month has to restore that sense of confidence and imagination and all that, because with the top designers leaving and all this, is like they need to instill confidence in us this month. Really, I know personally a lot of avid collectors quitting the line already quit. So they really got to save face here this month. Not just product reveals, but inspired reveals, imagination. People want to feel surprised again, you know, and it doesn't necessarily mean giant shit every week either. Just sometimes, you know, big in size doesn't mean creative and big. You know, they're not the same thing. It doesn't matter what they give us as long as it's inspired. And what people really want is that consistent, you know, passion and conviction that the design team had, and feel when the design team is excited about something, and feel when they're trying to push the line somewhere. And right now, I think fans are waiting to see whether Yojo June brings back that energy. I know I am, because there's a lot of reasons, you know, to believe in this line. Obviously, the Vamp is a huge one. That vehicle matters more than, you know, than people realize. It's not just iconic because it proved that Hasbro can still engineer a larger scale classified piece that feels substantial, which is still affordable, doesn't collapse into HasLab territory, and that's very important. And vehicles are absolutely the DNA, the DNA of GI Joe. Without vehicles, they never would have made a 3.75 figure. That's why they made them small, so they could make big jets and planes and vehicles and shit. That, you know, which obviously Kenner taught them, because Kenner wanted to make Millennium Falcons and etc. So they made their dolls this big, and it changed the world. I think a majority of classified collectors have 90% of their must-have figures now. Huge point, Monkey Dave. Huge point. I was. Oh, what up, man? Kaz, what up, man? That's all. Yo, I feel you, bro. I'll see you at the after party. But yes, when Lenny and them left, I thought about it immediately. I was like, oh no, they're not gonna finish the fucking, you know, roster. And I thought about it. Like, I looked at the shelf, I looked at the roster. You pretty much hit all of them. I need a version 3 Snake Eyes. That I'm missing. I don't need a Psych Out, really. I don't need a fucking scoop. I don't need what's the other one with the periscope? And then you got the one with I can't think of his fucking name right now, with all the rockets and shit. Like some of those 80s characters that I didn't like as a kid, I don't need now, and the ones they haven't done, and I'm fine with that. There are some that I need. I need version 3 Snake Eyes. I need Dress Blues Gung Ho. And then there's a few other ones that I'd love to have. Muskrat is a must-have. You need to give me Muskrat. Shit like that. Like, there's certain ones that I still need, but if they stopped now, I wouldn't. It'd be okay. I'd be happy with the shelf I have. Like, it's a pretty complete thing right now. It's not complete, but it's pretty much there. And I'm not mad if it was over today, which it's not. It's not. But if it was, I would not wouldn't cry in my beer. He said, I was in high school when Deke started and didn't get home in time to watch cartoons anymore. I did not know Deke happened. I just started middle school. I was in 6th grade in 1990. So I was in elementary school for all of G.I. Joe. That was my childhood. When I was in kindergarten, my family chipped in, my aunts and uncles, everybody chipped in, my parents, my grandparents, everybody. They got me the flag. And I was in kindergarten. It was like twice as tall as me if you stood it up, right? That's why they thought it was funny, like, because that's, you know, it's going to be bigger than him. It was a big deal. Like, it was a big thing. So, changed my life. From kindergarten on, I was a G.I. Joe fanatic. Didn't care about Transformers toys, didn't care about He-Man toys, didn't care about none of that shit. Just give me G.I. Joes. What do you want for Christmas? G.I. Joe. What do you want for your birthday? G.I. Joe. Walk through the store. Can I get a man? Remember, can I get a man? Like $250 and get a man. You know what I'm saying? Try to get a man and shit every now and then. But yo, G.I. Joe was it. Then 1990, I start middle school. I think that's around the time I guess I grew out of G.I. Joe, playing with G.I. Joe toys, and the cartoon had ended. Sunbow, like G.I. Joe was kind of over. And sadly, it was just kind of over, I thought. And I never really knew Deke happened, and thank God. Because I've watched Deke recently, and that is horrible. When you compare that to the Sunbow, it is horrible. I'm sorry. If that's your childhood, you grew up with Deke. I don't mean to bash you, but you need to go watch Sunbow, because that Deke shit, it's basically like TMNT cartoon. It's goofy, it's silly, it's slapstick, and it tries to have these serious like Headman. You have drug lords and shit running around, and it's like goof troop. I don't know what's going on. Deke didn't sit well with me. Cool characters came out through Deke though in that era. I love Scorpion, Desert Scorpion. Naugahyde first popped up on Deke, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He definitely was a big character on it. I saw. But yeah, it was a lot of cool characters came out of the era, but I wasn't part of it. Didn't see it. So I got like 20 left for my collection to feel complete. Yeah, I mean, I'd say about 20 left that I could say, like, man, if I had these 20, I couldn't be happier. I don't think I'm gonna get all those 20 ever. I don't think we're ever gonna get a version 3 Snake Eyes. Why do I think that? Well, we've gotten every other Snake Eyes known to man. They skipped version 3, went to 4, and then did every other one instead of went back to 3. And it has to be because they can't figure out how to do the butterfly knives on the butterfly swords on the chest. I guess. Which, why? Put a fucking post on his chest and put a hole in the things and fucking thread the post, and there they sit. Like, what's the problem? It's not a fucking rocket science, but I don't know what's going on. Every G.I. Joe cartoon is on YouTube. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Go check it out. Only Dragonfire miniseries is okay. I don't think Dragonfire miniseries. I might have missed that one. My favorite thing outside of Sunbow is Resolute. I feel like Resolute is Sunbow Part 2. If there was an evolution to Sunbow, it's Resolute. And Resolute basically, like, I love how they kind of explain why Cobra Commander was bumbling shit all the time, and like he's like, he says he's like doing it to like weed out the traitors and shit like that, like letting them think he's a buffoon kind of thing, and being the mastermind in the background the whole time. It's fucking brilliant. Captain Gridiron, Rock Viper, Salvo, cool shit. October dudes, that giant Crimson Guard, cool shit. First few episodes of the Deke series, the rest is hot garbage. Wow. I think the first is the headman, right, with his drug dealers running around. Resolute was good, but Bazooka copped it in the neck before it even started. Oh man, they had to kill someone that had weight. Like, it had to be someone you cared about, but it couldn't be a main character either. So I think Bazooka was a good choice. It's someone that you hate to see die. It's like good old fucking Bazooka. But it's also someone that was always a ancillary, always a fringe character. Not always, but like he's not one of the main like guys. At least I didn't consider him to be. Dragonfire is the first few episodes. Okay, that's the storyline. Okay, of Sunbow or of Deke. Okay, but yeah, Resolute, the designs, like that Destro with the long coat with the, oh man, I want that Destro bad. You gotta do a Resolute Destro. God, oh my god, Classify, that'd be insane. Who else from there? It's just amazing. Well, you know what's funny? They're putting out a green version of the Ferret with a Snake Eyes, with a green visor and green army pants. If you paint the green army pants the same color gray as the rest of him, he's now Resolute Snake Eyes with the green visor when he's flying in, jumping out of the plane. So that would be cool. I'm getting him and I'm painting his legs gray, and that's Resolute Snake Eyes. So at least I'm getting that. Because there you go. Another Snake Eyes. Literally, this is a Snake Eyes inspired by a sticker a sticker, a little sticker that you peel and stick on something, a sticker that they printed out once back in sometime in history, right? And they painted the snake eyes wrong. They gave him green pants mistakenly, or something to that effect. And it was always known as like the funny sticker Snake Eyes, and that's the only place the iteration existed. They never made a toy of it. It was never anywhere else in the comics or the cartoon. It was just this badly colored sticker. And they made a figure of that Snake Eyes before fucking version 3. So you tell me if we're ever getting version 3. I don't think so, and it's sad. It's heartbreaking. Wait, I think I skipped somebody. MHC Comics Invictus, what's good? Welcome. He said, I think exclusives are now hurting the line. If you can't get the cool characters you want when they're being released, it's frustrating, man. Storm Shadow vs. Snake Eyes scene in Resolute was insane. That is just one of the coolest animation Americanly. Yeah, I don't even know if that and that would be a cool set too, like because they did Resolute figures too, by the way. There are Resolute figures, but they're 3.75 4 inches really more closer to, but they're more like the 25th anniversary look, which the 25th anniversary figures, where they try to do with those is make them not look so disproportionate, because the original line had massive heads and just like funny proportions, and so they tried to make them look, but they ended up to me coming out looking a little too linky and like elongated and scrawny with like tiny heads. It's like they went too far in some of those. I really did regret missing out on the 25th anniversary line. Like, dude, I was so oblivious to G.I. Joe. Like, it ended for me in the 80s, and that's the sickest thing. It was my entire childhood. I loved it like nothing else, and it ended. Like, I was not really aware that the cartoons continued and like that they did more toy lines. I didn't know about G.I. Joe clubs. I didn't know about 25th anniversary line until after the fact. That I seen them at a convention, and I was like, what are these? And then, they were already, line had already finished, and it's like, fuck, I didn't know any of that was happening. Not that I don't think I would have bought them anyway, because like I wasn't really into that yet. I wasn't always, I'm not a lifelong collector. Like, I haven't been doing this my whole life. Like, this is since 2018, probably 2017. I started collecting action figures. I started collecting comics. Well, first started collecting comics when I was like 12. From like 12 to 15, I probably read comics. Then I got my restricted license, started, chasing women, I guess they call it. And that was my focus. Like, it just kind of grew out of it, the comic thing. And then later sold my entire collection when I got my first apartment. Fast forward 20 odd plus 30 years or whatever, 2017, 2018, House of X, Powers of X. That's what did it. House of X, Powers of X, X-Men, Jonathan Hickman. Shout out to Rob from Comics Explained. Inspired me, bro. His video on House of X, Powers of X. I was just like, and I fucking went immediately to the store, bought all 12 issues, and fucking became a collector, a fanatic of Hickman. Raw Talk, what up, man?
Peace, man. Little kind of under the weather with the my allergies and stuff transformed into a cold. Damn. And then at the same time, my family next door is having a birthday party for their 2-year-old, and next weekend it'll be a birthday party for my 1-year-old. So
yeah, you got to collaborate.
Season. It's the summer, baby. It's the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm jumping on late. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, of course, anytime, man.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, we gotta close the door. But yeah, that's what's happening. And I decided, to pop on because I know you hit me up, and I was out and about making moves, running around.
Yeah,
with the family.
Dog, he had a last. I thought he said his powers are something. He's at a wedding.
Yeah, man, it's that time. Graduation, weddings, and all.
Yeah, stuff. He's pissed too. He's sitting there pissed off. Like, it's his. I guess it's his wife's wife's best friend or sister or something like that, or cousin, and he's like sitting there just with like a sourpuss on because he's like,
man, he better duck off into a closet somewhere and put on the Wi-Fi on his phone and go
pop
from
in
there.
this bit. Word.
Or
Yeah,
you find me in the men's room in the latrine right there with a camera on, chilling.
One thing is, I ain't gonna never tell a man to defy his wife like that, because that's gonna backfire on him, and then he gonna think and he gonna remember Reno told me to do that shit too. You know what I mean? You listen to your wife, man, because I don't want to be the source of your agony.
Nah, shit, it doesn't matter. They always the source of agony, regardless.
It doesn't matter.
That don't matter. It don't matter. You just gotta pick and choose your violence.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Because they damn sure gonna pick theirs when they want, and hey, that's what it is. So
is what it is.
I do what I do, man. Shoot, you know.
So you've talked about Super 7 having the license and doing the cartoon stuff, and then kind of being bewildered of why Classified is doing the cartoon stuff. Then
this is straight trash, butter ash trash water, bum piss water. This is like the dumbest shit they could have done. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, look at the face on the dude. He looked like somebody just drew him in with a crayon and shit. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know what they're trying to do, but they need to stay in their lane, man. If you're gonna do something, just keep G.I. Joe modern and or what have you, or mix of modern and vintage, and do the new characters. Then I guess you know what I'm saying. If they don't want to go into the DEP versions of stuff, they don't want to go into the battle, what you call it, patrol, the different patrols they have, the different renditions of the classic characters. Leave the cartoons to Super 7 because they're doing it right, because they have the exact likeness of the cartoon.
Well, that's the thing, and the only thing like Super 7 obviously lacks in articulation and durability a little bit. Like these,
kind of. I mean, they do the 7-inch figure or the 6 3/4 or what have you, but I own the
they don't go with Classifieds. They're too tall.
Yeah, I own the 5 points of articulation ones. Then I own Reaction Plus ones, and I also used to own the Ultimates, which I might get back into the Ultimates, honestly.
Yeah, they're dope.
But they done good. I mean, for what it is, they do good. I don't know, a lot of
no, you hit it on the head because you said they keep the likeness, and that's the thing that I think this fails at, because this is like they're trying to do a realistic face on clearly a cartoon body and character, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, they try to modernize it. Why didn't they make them a total cyborg or whatever? If they're gonna do it,
if you're gonna go realistic, go realistic.
Yeah, make it something interesting. Just do a whole new body if need be, and give some callback to the cartoon. You don't have to try to give it a shitty rendition. Yeah, if you look at the Fatal Fluffies. Look at the Fatal Fluffies from Super 7 for the O-ring.
Right.
Dope.
They're dope.
No complaints from nobody. Actually, the shit is so scarce. It's like $75, $100 for each figure now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Well, so it's like it's a high price now for them things. They're sold out on Super. They're sold out everywhere. Look at that.
Oh yeah, they're sold out.
Just like it.
Looks just like him.
No problem. Look. It looks cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Look at the face. Animated.
I want a face swap like that for this Classified Fluffy then. Like somebody with a 3D printer gonna have to make a face like that, a face plate that they can stick in there. And I think if they do that, then they'll be cooler. But it's like you run into the problem of, if you do that, then you have this cartoony looking thing that obviously doesn't fit with your Classified aesthetic. Exactly. So then the answer is, like you said, don't make cartoon characters that you can't make look realistic, or make them look realistic.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately for them, what sparked them was the Once Was a Man, which
Yeah.
Super 7 did first and was
Right.
told to hold off until they
Mhm.
can push their Once Was a Man, and then Super 7 had to push theirs. Then the Cold Slither. I was up on and I spoke with old boy from Super 7 at Joe Fest.
Right.
And I was like, I know you're doing Cold Slither, the full band.
Yeah.
And he was like, we're gonna give you the Zartan version. I'm like, oh, because these guys are doing it for their see. But he explained to me, yeah, they could do what they want because it's their property, it's their IP. So we're just licensors, so we have to do what they say anyway.
Yep.
Which is understandable.
Right.
But I think when they run out of creative ideas, they steal.
Yeah.
Even though it's their own IP, they steal with that type of intention. Like,
No, they steal
okay,
from Bobby all the time. They steal from Valaverse all the time.
oh yeah. I mean, as far as the extra hands, the heads, the tech, all that, the guns, the removable silent suppressors, the clips.
He does a
This is
Sam
all
Fisher. He does a
Yeah.
Sam Fisher video game character right away. Then they
Yep.
do Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
But you
I
know,
think not.
it's crazy. I just think that they could have came better with it if they was gonna do something for Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con. They could have did something way better that's
Yeah.
in line with what they got going on. If they wanted to do something, well, just go and buy the damn A-Team license and then just make all the A-Team members and shoot it up there for $350 and everybody's gonna buy it. I'll buy it. I'll get back into classifieds if they throw the A-Team in it.
Word.
And I'll just get the A-Team. I'm good. You know what I'm
Imagine.
saying? You
Oh
know,
man.
But these guys, I don't know, man. But on the devil's advocate side, I mean, it is a special product for those who want it.
Yes.
And that, so the whole thing is if
it is a special product for those who want it.
Yeah, and that's good, and that's what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That way you don't get stuck with having to put it in your collection because it has a number on it, or it has some. Oh, well, I think it may still have a number on it, or whatever.
Still has a number. Yeah,
but
there's
something
still
that you
numbers.
really don't need.
Yeah, right.
Because technically,
I'm not a completionist. I feel bad for completionists right now. Like honestly.
But I'm bad for Army. I feel bad for Army builder dudes because now you got to get at least 15 of those joints to really make a good scene.
Yeah. I mean, even if you wanted to buy 3 or 4, you're now looking at $200. They're over $50 a piece. They're almost $60, and then after shipping, you're paying $70.
Yeah,
after tax and shipping, it's $70.
Yeah,
2 of them for almost $150.
Yeah, and it's limited. And it's a limited piece. So if you don't have the plug to get them all, as many as you want, you're done.
The plug.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that plug, you can't Army build that. You understand? Yep. So that's where we at with it.
Yeah.
He sleeps. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Now, honestly, and I think so.
Okay.
I think 2027 is important now because depending on how Hasbro handles the next 18 months, and because there's 2 possible futures for classified right now, right? This is where we're at. And I think one path leans more heavy into the cartoon nostalgia and more nostalgia stuff, and more Sunbow episodes, more niche references, more remember this stuff, collector recognition purchases and stuff. And that probably works short term, but eventually it narrows the audience. It narrows the collectors.
And here's the conundrum. If you're going to go that route, then what do you need Super 7 for? Why are you going to shit on Super 7 who's paying you? Why would they even continue to pay you if you're going to shit all over their brand? Because their brand is Sunbow.
Right.
Nothing but Sunbow. So what is it? Is there a thing where Super 7's license period is up? And now they're not going to make any more Super 7 G.I. Joe. So if that's the case,
if that's the case, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though they have more to make than what Hasbro did. Because remember, they only have, I think, over maybe 50 figures or close to 50 or something like that, if that they made as far as the Ultimates, the 6 3/4 inch figures. So looking at that, they're really, I don't know, that it looks desperate to me.
It feels it feels weird.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, these, like that 2-pack with Shipwreck, that looks like something Lenny left on his desktop. Honestly, for real. That's a design that he left on his desktop. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we was gonna do this, but I don't think it'll run, and I'll just leave it in the background. Maybe we drop it way later. But since he left, we're gonna, and the new designers need a buffer. We'll just throw this at them and see what happens. And now, if these guys take to this, we got them hooked. We don't have to worry about anything else we're dropping, because it could be a piece of glob of shit and they'll buy it. That shit is garbage. This whole lineup is garbage, bro. Yo. And everybody's like making excuses because, oh, you get a different you get the blue officer, the Crimson Guard officer, the blue chick. Yeah, you get her. But it's like, come on, man. Did we see that in the cartoon? No, we didn't.
No,
we didn't see that.
Meanwhile,
we seen it in the comics.
Meanwhile, last night, Mythic Legions drops this for $40.
Oh shit, that looked like Conan straight off.
Look at all the detail.
Like Conan when he was fighting in the arena.
Word. Know what I'm saying? And they got leather straps, metal chains, rings and shit hanging, bro.
It looks hard, man. I mean, I wish I would have been into it, but I'm not like really into the
that's the thing.
Medieval stuff.
Yeah, if you're not into fantasy, it doesn't do anything for you. But if you are into fantasy, it's,
and the only fantasy I truly gravitate to is Motu, if anything. You know what I'm saying? And you know, or Conan, but I'd rather just have Conan in the comic book and movie form, not even in action figure form.
Yeah. They do have a Conan. They have an actual Conan, like
Super 7 did one. Super 7 did actually 2, and I think Mezco did 1, and another brand did Conan that's pretty tough.
Boss Fight has an amazing Conan coming out.
Yes.
But Savage Crucible just did the Frazetta. They do some like Frank Frazetta inspired shit.
Nice. Bro. I got a whole bunch of Frazetta art. Yeah. Look at this. Frazetta's that dude, man. Oh, there you go. Yeah. See, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I actually have that comic with that character in it. The art book with him in it. Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. And that's similar to what you just shown too.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the big gap between indie and big companies like Hasbro. They care more about what collectors want in a figure versus, they're not just, and it's not about the IP either. So that's another thing you have, but it's also it can be a pro and a con, because I avoided Savage Crucible's been out a little while, a few years now. Mythic Legion's been out a while, and I completely ignored it because it wasn't an IP I knew. I pass on G.I. Joe classified figures that don't look like characters I know, or if the figure doesn't look like the character, like the first few, like the first Duke and Gung Ho and them, I don't want them.
Yeah.
Because they just don't look like anything I recognize. That's how I felt. And that's why everything here is either, Marvel, Star Wars, or G.I. Joe, because for me, it was all about the IP. It was all about the iconography, the nostalgia. That's what I wanted from it. And then I started like more and more reviews and more videos I would see of these Mythic Legion figures and stuff. And I'm a huge fantasy. I love fantasy, bro. It's huge for me. So already I was like, okay. And then when I started really looking at the figures up close, bro, and I'm seeing the cloth and the chains and the crazy detail, it's like, man, bro, I feel like I'm really fucking up. I'm missing out. So I ordered one. I ordered another one. Oh shit, I need another one. I got a few.
You're in the realm now.
I got a bunch of them. Hyper Valiverse presentation tomorrow. Yes, that's gonna be crazy.
I think also, man, with the IPs, the independent guys, they can do detail, but the price point matches what they put out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, you have Hasbro and so forth, the price point don't match what they're putting out, and also the disconnect.
Yes, and also Japan, like Japanese figures.
Oh yeah,
those are great too, but they're $100 something.
Yeah.
You're paying over $100 a figure for those, whereas a Savage Crucible or Mythic Legions is $40.
But
50. They have a $90 figure. They go up in scale, but you can get a $40 figure out of it.
Yeah, true. Me, I'm of the mind of even with Japanese figures, they do anime and mech very well.
The best.
When it comes to something like superheroes, in that regard, their figures look too choppy to me. Like, the articulation, but it's so much of a hassle to do those. I mean, you get all the bits and parts and pieces, but it's like, I don't want it to look like a Rubik's Cube when I pose these figures and I see their elbows out where they don't need to be, like bits and parts. I don't like that. I want a smooth looking transition into a flow.
Right.
When you're articulating something, I don't want to have to see the joints, the little pieces, the cuts. I don't like that, man. You know what I'm saying? That really turns me off as far as the look of a figure. I'm almost of the mind where now, if I do get back into the superhero game, see, like, that bothers me.
Look at the crotch.
Yeah, see, that bothers me. Even look where the shoulder blade is. That bothers me. The legs, that looks weird to me. It's like, it doesn't look right. So
it has some flaws, some hard to look at stuff. Really, for me, that pelvic area is really a lot, but it does so much for the articulation. That's where they really shine, is articulation. They want to be able to get these dynamic poses out of it.
Yeah. And for me, if I'm gonna go this route, I might as well just get me a statue and call it a day.
And you're paying $100.
Yeah. And I mean, the transition looks smooth. The statue is smooth, so you don't have no cracks, bits, and weird looking gaps. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. If I'm gonna go that route again, I'll do statues, man, and get the best statue I can get of a Spider-Man, of a McFarlane, or Larson, or something like that, or even the retro kind, and be done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though these dudes look crazy, man. Don't get me wrong.
This is Boss Fights Conan, right? This is a Conan based on the comic. If you might recognize, this is number 1 right there. Issue number 1. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, that's that.
Marvel,
and interestingly enough, Larry Hama did a lot of writing on the Conan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I did not know that.
So he's definitely instrumental in the development of the Conan, and then the King Conan and things of that nature.
I did not know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh wow! Look at the detail on the end of his little tusks.
Yeah.
Crazy. You look at even the trunk itself is not skimping on the texture. Like, that texture does not stop.
It looks just like the elephant.
Yeah. Wrinkles and shit even at the tip. Wow. Veins all popping out of the legs and shit.
No, those guys are excellent, man. They do great work, man.
Crazy. And now this is an expensive set. It's $130, but you see where the money goes.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You see where the money's going.
Exactly. And Boss fights. They did a great Flash Gordon piece. They did a great Medusa piece, the Gorgon. They did do a lot of good fantasy pieces, man. You know, so I'm hats off to them.
Yeah, no, that is the sweet spot. MHC Comic Invictus. That's the sweet spot. Like, but
We're all hobby poor. We just don't want to admit it.
yeah, I mean, I'll admit it. You know what I mean? Fuck out of here. Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm a
know. I'm
blue.
not saying us. I'm just saying a
No, I
lot of
know.
people out there. They're like, yeah, I get this, I get that. Man, we hobby poor, man. You gotta
And
understand.
a
A
lot
lot
of
of
you.
times when you're selling off things to buy something new, you're hobby poor, man. You know what I'm saying? We just make excuses, but for the most
Or you're
part,
spending money that should go to a bill.
yeah. Well, now you're delirious at that point.
I mean,
You need
you got
help.
you need help.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
but hey, I'm hearing crazy stories, dog.
Yeah, man. That's an addiction, a real plastic addiction, man.
Hey, plastic crack.
But I guess that's to
That's why
keep
they
them
call
from
it.
going out and being on the next person on the news. So I mean, hey.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I know a lot of I know a lot of like, well, not a lot, but I know a couple like guys that were heavy drug addicts that went into like NA and like kind of trans over into this kind of as a new addiction.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's like at least my money's not going to drugs. So it's like, hey,
exactly. And that's good. I mean, I believe in that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
If it's
yeah,
if you're replacing one addiction, even though it's still an addiction, it's an addiction to something that is not harming anybody. And
yeah,
also not harming yourself physically.
physically, your health, right,
Yeah,
right,
you
right.
know what I'm saying. So I think that's a great part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and for me, what for me it does, it's like for me, it's like a stress relief.
Mm.
It's a yeah, it's like I guess you could call it a little bit like a self therapy.
Same here. I mean, but I will
Therapeutic.
admit there've been times where this hobby has tried my patience as far as personally, as far as how I think
Mm,
about it in a sense. Like sometimes it gets overwhelming. You know, although my man cave or what have you has a lot of GI Joe. After a while, sometimes I sit and I think, what is it all for? And why do I need to go this route? And why am I here with it when I could just keep the memories, which is also valuable, you know what I'm saying? And
mm-hmm.
things of that nature. So I always thought of making a book cataloging all of what I owned. That way
Mm,
I have it in a book format, a coffee
mm.
table book.
Photos and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and if I have to sell my stuff, I'll sell it, and I still have the memories of, yeah, I remember I had this and that and that. Because at the end of the day,
Mm.
we don't play with this shit. I mean, we may customize or we may
Right,
pose
right,
it once in a while, but we're not sitting actively playing with this shit, man.
right,
You know, I thought I
right,
would be doing that with my sons. They're
right.
not really interested in that
They're
shit.
not
So,
into it, man. That's it.
nah,
They're not into it. Like action figures was a very 80s thing. Like it was
yes,
a big thing, and it just didn't. It was not only like it wasn't the generation before us
yeah,
or after us. It's literally a Gen X thing. And that's
yes,
weird to think about. Like I thought action figures was just a thing, but no, it's a Gen X thing. It really is. Because like
because
the boomers, they had dolls, and like my dad, he said he had the little green army men. That's what they
yeah,
had.
yeah.
You buy like 100 of them in a bag or whatever. Like that's the closest they had. And
What's
it's
up,
like that
tough and nerd toys?
tough nerd toys. What up? Peace.
What
Welcome.
up?
Welcome.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
I think for our generation, the Gen X they now they want to classify their younger because you're the youngest of the Gen X.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
so they got all these new classifications. But anyway, I think with us being so young and independent, because we were the first children to really feel independence because
Yeah.
we had to do for ourselves at different stages. We had to really manage our everything, you know, even though if we had
Latchkey
parents or
kids
what have you, but we was out on the streets, we was running, going to different neighborhoods and stuff like that. I mean, we,
gone.
especially in New York, man, yo, you take a bus from one side of town to the next just to go play
Yep.
half the
Yep.
time. So
Yep.
you taking chances. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about at 6, 7 years old.
Oh no, yeah,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? These kids
I mean,
6 and
probably
7 years. You
I
know what
don't
I
think
mean?
6 or 7 I was hopping on buses, but definitely at 10, 11, I was
Yeah,
definitely hopping on
6
buses
and
and
7, man. We was
in the
doing it.
city, like in the
What up,
city,
Billy?
crazy shit. Billy
Yeah,
Billionaire, what up? What up?
yeah. EGC, Devon, what up? Billionaire. Yeah, man. Shoot. You know, I told you I grew up on Staten Island, so it was in that time frame, everybody lived together. I mean, you know, it was a big melting pot, but it was a thing where kids was outside. We played with toys. We was outside. We was doing crazy things. I'm telling you.
Hell yeah, dog. Yeah, no, it was
So
all
our
about hopping on the
generation
bike and going.
was the first experiment for this stuff. So it sticks to us because we had the largest imagination. And if you
Yeah.
think about it, you look between the years of I say 70 to 90. That period right there is where everything now is coming from. All style, everything, movies, fashion, the wealth of information comes from that period of time, from the 1972 to 1992.
Yeah.
All that right there is what's running the world now. All that energy is still running the world because everybody want to go back to those time periods.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
you
Even the billionaires and millionaires, they want to go back to that time because that's when the most money was made, the
yep.
most creative things was made. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The music, the movies, everything was good in the 80s, despite, you know what I'm saying, a lot of here and there, Gorbachev and all those guys, but it still was a good time.
Yeah.
There was the pinnacle of party time and
Yeah.
opulence and
Yeah. Oh yeah. The crack
consumerism.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
despite
young
crack.
guys making what
Yeah.
the crack when I say the crack era, okay. A lot of
Yeah.
people see when I say the crack era, I don't mean the addicts.
Yeah.
I mean young guys being millionaires, like kids, like
Oh
teenagers
yeah, yeah.
driving Benzes and shit
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Like that was something very specific to the 80s that really died I remember in the 90s. Like it
Oh, the
lingered in the
crack
early
wars.
90s.
The crack wars
Yeah.
was in the 90s.
Yeah, then it got crazy
Yeah.
as fuck. Yeah, it got real dangerous. Like then it wasn't fun anymore. But like
Nah,
it was, yeah, it was. I mean, it
you
was a
know,
party at first,
just
but
imagine
the
starting up with,
80s,
yeah, in the 90s. Look, in the 90s, imagine starting up with a crew, y'all hustling, everybody on the block, but one person is making a little bit more money because they got a little bit more marketing skills or their I can't even say the word right now.
the end,
Charismatic, whatever. I'm fucking it up.
charisma,
Charisma. They
charismatic,
have charisma. There you go.
charismatic.
And
Yeah,
the others get jealous and then they start killing each other over space and blocks and territories and custodies.
yeah.
And that's what happened. And that's why we say it's the crack war, because everybody was killing each other for a block that they don't own, but they were making money on.
Yeah, no, it was a crazy. It was so much there, and so much imagination, so much. But action figures, the toy lines and stuff, they really made us foster our imaginations more than
Exactly.
kids
Yeah.
today. Kids today don't have that. Everything is given to you. You got your internet, you got your device or whatever, your video
Yeah.
game. Everything is just given to you. You want it already there for you, already made, so you can immerse in it or whatever. When we were kids, like they gave you the card back and you kind of had to make up the rest. Like it was like you got a paragraph, but you made up the story and you made up your own little worlds and you created your own, the couch cushions became forts and you just made these little scenes. You throw the blanket on the ground and make mountain ranges and shit.
Word. Hell yeah.
I mean,
That
like
was
that
crazy.
was, I mean, but my favorite shit was to go to the woods and find some place way out, try to find some type of, vegetation so I could have some kind of like jungle type vibe or whatever, just make little scenes and shit.
Yeah.
Like we had that, like, and I think that this line Classified really fostered that creativity, and it really looked, I think lent itself to customizers, to the ability to customize and kit bash and stuff like that. Because I got a whole shelf of characters I made up out of Classified, parts that I kit bashed.
Yeah.
Add a little paint, change the paint, change the color, the whatever they're wearing, swap this part from that part, different heads, different arms and shit. just like I did as a kid. My favorite thing to do as a kid was to take the GI Joes apart
Yeah,
with the screwdriver and just fucking put that shit and make my own
yeah.
shit bashes.
He used to make
That was my
Road
favorite
Warriors
thing.
that way.
Yeah, we did all that shit.
Yep.
All that shit, bro.
So the
And that was
Dreadnoughts had a whole squad of dudes looking wild, mixed up, and then we watched Commando. So when Commando was out, then we tried to make
that
a
was my joint.
Commando figure with Duke. We tried to make
Yeah.
him into a Commando figure.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Commando was
rough
that
because
shit.
the head on Duke was different than the newer bodies where they had the swivel, a little bit more swivel, and Duke's was like a peg. So
Yep.
that was hard until they came out with a late Duke later on, but it was too late by then.
But man, I mean, Classified was a franchise, man, where that imagination that we had as kids, like, Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes fighting on the cliffs with swords while Destro runs a terrorist organization with his chrome mask, and Cobra Commander screaming shit through the, whatever. And that was already there. But the Classified line worked because it modernized that creativity, that insanity, without removing it. And that's a delicate balance. I think the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives accidentally exposed how hard that balance is becoming to maintain now. And they're trying to make, especially when collectors themselves are split into different generations. You have some people want Sunbow accuracy, some people want Larry Hama comic grit, some people want tactical realism, Cobra science fiction, some people want troop builders, some people want only named characters, people are looking for fake vehicles, some people want affordable figures, some people want more deluxe exclusives and shit. It's just a different. And so Hasbro is trying to juggle and satisfy all of those different wants and needs simultaneously while operating inside the modern corporate economics that indie studios don't have to deal with, which is why I think Lenny and them took off. And it's not easy. So I don't really fault Hasbro because it is a giant corporation. So no, I don't. Yeah.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Just like Billionaire just said, he's still 100% behind Classified. He thinks Lenny leaving is making an illusion like it's over. It's not that it's making an illusion. I just say, well, you have the main chef in the kitchen, and he decides to leave the kitchen. All the chefs under him, the junior chefs or the sous chefs, they don't really know the plan. They have to come up with their plan.
Lenny wasn't even just the chef; he was the restaurateur. He was the guy that really created the whole idea of it.
Yeah, he's the one who expanded. He knew how to make this figure go into this one, to this vehicle. He had that blueprint.
So and he had a vision of how he was going to put shit out, and that is gone now. So now you've got some new guy in there going, I don't know what to make next. Lenny knew what
I don't think he doesn't know what to make next. I just think it's the combination of how the rollout or planning, how the minds are really studying the collector's vibe. Yeah, Lenny did that. He looked at posts. He was in different chat rooms.
Exactly.
On different shows, even though he wasn't there where he commented, he was watching and listening.
He operated like an indie toy studio. Classified was like an indie toy line because of Lenny. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying, Billionaire XO. It's not that the line, it's not, I'm not saying it's dead or anything, but Lenny was operating that shit like an indie studio, like paying attention to what collectors want and all that.
True. And if anything, we should say the Lenny era is over.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how we should.
I like that.
How it should move forward.
I like that.
Everything. The Lenny era of Classified is over. Now we got to see who's going to take the mantle and bring it into a new era. That's how we should coin it. That's how we as collectors should coin it.
I like that. I work with that. I rock with that. But yeah, man.
I think that's the only way to make sense of it. Yeah. So we just have to see what happens beyond this. But this San Diego Comic-Con exclusive stuff is like, it's mid, as the young kids say, very mid.
Very mid. Very mid. Very mid.
So,
well, it is getting to that 2-hour mark. We're gonna wrap it,
Yes,
but
sir.
I'm gonna bust open these packages. So I did get some things. I told you I was gonna show you what came in the mail. I'm not gonna do a review or anything like that. Just gonna open these up and see what they are. I will be doing a review on these, just probably tomorrow or something like that.
Cool.
All right, so this one's coming from Big Bad motherfucking toy store.
You see the packaging, when you see them letters. Snap! Oh snap! Another Savage Crucible.
The Mythic Legions.
Huh?
The Mythic Legions.
Oh, Mythic Legions. Oh, okay. Oh, that shit look hard. That shit look raw.
Hold on, let me make that shit focus. Wait a minute.
You know what he look like? Kellan, the Fetty Man.
Exactly. It's exactly why I got him, dog.
Word. Straight up, Kellan, the Fetty Man.
Get on the Goodman. Yeah. So we will be busting that up and reviewing that. His name is Maximus the Harvester.
Okay, Maximus the Harvester. Okay.
Yeah. But you're right. Definitely inspired by Charon the Boatman, aka Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
I mean, before the Lord of Death appears, there is Maximus the Harvester. Maximus the Harvester. Necronominus comes forth to raise the dead. Blah 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 blah. They have a cool big thing of lore. And then look on the back. There's even more lore. Look at all that lore. Wait, is that lore or is that like fucking what you call it? That's lore. That's all lore. This is the only bit of like business right here. That's all lore.
Oh, so they bringing that story arc to life with the characters and how they intertwine with each other. That's dope.
Exactly.
Okay, I can feel that. That's dope.
And then this one's the one that FedEx shit on. They crushed it, even though it says liquid, handle with care. Look what they did.
FedEx, man.
You gotta do better.
FedEx. Just the word "fed" alone tells you what it's about.
Everything you need to know. Right?
Everything is fed. They're fed some bullshit. They're fed up with the job. Oh man, it's crazy. Oh whoa!
Okay, it's another little Motu, another little vintage faker.
Yes. Oh,
I love about this. Yes, I love about this is that they give you the 80s head on a new updated body, but it's the same design as the 80s figure.
Yeah. That's dope.
I got this one already, Skeletor.
Yeah.
And there's Faker.
And I like that with the black.
Faker's like a cross between Skeletor and He-Man.
Yeah. I know
Skeletor's body.
Is crazy.
Yeah, but then He-Man is on the way too. He'll be arriving soon. I got him. I got Beastman coming and Merman coming.
All right.
I'm gonna take the Merman though, and I'm gonna probably put this head on it because this is the dopest.
What's up,
Merman
Prophet
head
Director, Daredevil? Yeah, Daredevil said somebody say Motu.
There he is.
Motu, here he is. That's what's up. What's
up, humans?
Yes, sir. But that's figures, man.
Yeah.
Dope. They're dope, man. I can't say anything is whack. I'm gonna be honest. I can't really say any toy that came out is really whack per se. I mean, maybe the rollouts, or maybe it's something that I haven't expected. Or aside from this Fatal Fluffy shit, they could have done better with the Fatal Fluffy rollout. They really could have not done it. Or modernized it a little bit more. Make the Fatal Fluffy a whole nother creature. I mean, either big guy,
right?
Like
either make it a more either make him completely realistic, where the body looks like a realistic type of body and shit, like a cyborg monster or whatever, or keep the face as cartoon as the rest of the body.
Yeah, but if they do the face like cartoon, then they run the risk of
then you're just doing a big Super 7.
Did it better. You know what I'm saying? And that's my personal thing. When it comes to the cartoon version of G.I. Joe, Super 7, hands down, is the best at it because they started with that motif first. They did it first. They're known for the Sunbow versions. They're the experts at that.
Yeah, they nailed it. They nailed the cartoon joint.
You know, and that's what they're known for across the board, even with their cartoon. Like you go to the Ninja Turtles, although people complain about the articulation of the turtles and things, the look of it, I'm going off the sheer look. It looks like the cartoon.
Right.
Silverhawks look like cartoons. Thundercats look like the cartoons. So they're experts at that. They have a great factory that does the molding properly as far as cartoon wise. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Hasbro need to venture in that cartoon mode. If they wanted to venture into something, go to the comic book version then, if anything.
Yeah.
Because they shoot themselves in the foot. If you did a side by side of this guy with their guy, it's always gonna come down to Super 7 does the best cartoon versions.
Yeah, they're exactly. It's like why compete? You know, you already gave them the license, you already gave them the rights. Let them go ahead and do it. Joe's Invalids versus Motu Revelations new Eternia is new battleground. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
look what Dare said, bro. Before we leave.
Oh, he said just got a cartoon collection, Grizzlore, and some Krispy Kreme Masters of the Universe movie donuts. Also, a lot of extra box. Shout out to my sis for the hookup. Yo,
that's what's up. Yeah. Shout out to Big Sis or Little Sis. I forget. I think. Yeah, Dare, you the OG of the family. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's the cartoon Skeletor.
Yeah, that cartoon Skeletor is hard, yo.
It's dope, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway, man. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I think, you know, maybe this is just a weird transition period for the line. Maybe Yojo June comes through swinging. Everybody gets, you know, forgets that the San Diego Comic-Con wave ever happened. Maybe 2027 ends up being the strongest year of classified ever. Honestly, I hope that's what happens because despite all the criticism in this show, in this video that we did today, in this conversation we just had, I still think G.I. Joe Classified is one of the best things Hasbro has done for collectors in ever. And that's exactly why people are paying attention when the energy starts feeling a little different and nobody gets invested in lines that they don't care about. And so maybe that's really the conversation here more than anything else. Not is G.I. Joe dead? Because we're not going to, you know, fake dramatic YouTube, you know, funerals over a few underwhelming reveals or anything like that. I think the real question is whether Hasbro still understands what made Classified feel special in the first place, because once collector lines lose that must buy every fucking thing energy, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. But yes, Yojo June is right around the corner. Day after tomorrow it starts, June 1st. You know, there's still a lot of rumored figures people waiting on. I think they're going to do some more reveals on you know, the following week. But this line still has more goodwill built up than most collector brands could ever dream of, so the potential is absolutely still there. But now, before we get up out of here, just make sure you guys subscribe, like. There's a new channel, and also because we do this live every Wednesday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific. Toys, comics, fantasy, hip-hop, collector culture, all that plastic addicted madness lives right here inside the Toy Trap at 10 p.m. Follow us to the after party at Casual Toy Collectors channel. But I want to hear from y'all in the comments too as well, if you were in the live chat or not. Am I overthinking this? Are we talking to our collectors just burned out after years of nonstop reveals, or does G.I. Joe Classified genuinely feel different lately? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget, collecting ain't a hobby no more. It's a habit. Welcome to the Toy Trap, and don't forget what we always tell you. Be water, my friend.